This banging has been going on all night. This guy, the one who's got autism.
This is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And don't forget to send your stories to news@scarcitystudios.com. I really appreciate you joining me today, and this audio that I'm about to play is exclusive and provided to Scarcity by Sam Walker. It's never my intention to get anybody Sal raided, so I made sure that he was 100% confident that he wanted this released while he was in prison. He has told me that he's so outraged by this that he definitely wants it released. So in order to remain supportive of anybody who is trying to expose any corruption or ill treatment of anybody in any facility, I feel it's really important to show this on the platform. We will also discuss a recent spontaneous inspection of Forrest Bank prison where this has been filmed, and the recent report about their dealings with mental health prisoners. The audio we are about to play has definitely got to have a trigger warning, due to the fact you are going to hear an autistic prisoner who is in great distress and is having a sensory overload. This occurred in the solitary confinement block in Forrest Bank prison. And audio also depicts what are described as guards telling him, if you carry on, we'll do it again. The prisoner is also heard to be self-harming in some way, hitting his head off the wall, and is in great distress and is left to his own accord. This prison is where 2 prisoners last year killed themselves. The inspection revealed that there was inadequate response from staff in relation to them cases. So first I'm going to play the audio and then we'll discuss it, and also the recent inspection that was done on the prison.
Just saying to him, do you want to come in? And then when he walks to the gate, they walk away and leave him. Right? No. This is complete negligence. This guy's going to kill himself. And I've done this video purely to expose. See, he's just been begging to come back in. The screw stood there watching him. He needs healthcare. He needs treatment. He's fucking obviously got hypothermia. Yeah, I'm not a problem. Stand up, you fucking idiot, one of them just said. Stand up. See? Hear that? If you do it again, you're getting it again. The screw just said that then. If you do it again, you're getting it again. In other words, what he means is you're getting a slap again. That's what he means, the fucking little shit house. Yeah, he's annoying. He's bangs. You hear the banging to stop. They want to do these security screws. When he stood there, banged on the door. He'll open the door dead quick, so it smashes into him. He's got like a big red mark on the side of his face. Obviously it's stopped now, it's like fucking, what time is it? You had started again though. He needs help. He should have done solitary confinement. Solitary confinement is hard enough for me. And I'm pretty thingy, mentally strong in that sort of way, because I've spent years in solitary. But this guy should not be there. Listen to him. He's walking. He just stood in the corner. Now the screws made him stand in the corner. And he's just like, he's shaking, moving side to side. Yeah. Got to be exposed now. I've had to expose this for his family, and also because if he committed suicide, what kind of fucking, do you know what I mean? This guy's got disabilities. He should not be in solitary confinement. He's got no shoes on. He's got no coat. He's been out for an hour and a half. The officers keep coming out and saying to him, do you want to come in? And then when he walks to the gate, they walk away and leave him. Right? No. This is complete negligence.
Thank you to everybody that was able to listen to that audio, and I do apologise for the graphic nature, but it is really important to highlight these cases because at the end of the day, nobody knows how people with mental health issues are being treated in prison. In the second part of the video, we're going to discuss the recent inspection of the prison that was random and unannounced by the Justice of Inspectorate. This was in February 2022, and it was a very damning report, and they actually failed many aspects of the inspection, which we're going to discuss after I've read the introduction from the report. I'm going to leave a link to the full report as well so you can read it for yourself, because it's so big I won't be able to read everything in this episode. The introduction says that Forrest Bank is a privately managed prison. It's located in Salford, Manchester, and has been operated by Sodexo for over 20 years. It's currently designed as a reception prison and can hold up to 1,366 men. The prison has three primary purposes: to receive those remanded to custody, to hold them until their court dates, to hold those serving fairly short prison sentences, and to hold those requiring resettlement as a release date approaches. They go on to say in the introduction that the Prison of Inspectorate had to issue Sodexo with a notice over concerns about safety of prisoners. In relation to suicide and self-harm prevention, it said in the report that the recorded level of self-harm had dropped by 20% in the last 12 months. This brought it in line with the rest of the local prisons, but they said that 959 reported incidents involved 331 prisoners. So this states that the same prisoners are repeatedly having incidents of mental health breakdowns or conflicts with prison guards. 2 self-inflicted deaths had taken place since the last inspection, and the first death was in March 2020. But despite a significant amount of potential learning lessons, none of the recommendations were added to the prison's action plan. It was revealed in the damning report. They also stated that the prison guards on the night shift were not carrying the emergency cell response keys in order to be able to prevent suicides and also self-harm. They also said that there was no suitable therapy spaces, and the registered nurses were chaperoned visiting psychiatrists during all patient contact when on site, and this led to low resources. They also revealed there was no resources for individuals that had neurodevelopmental needs, such as autism, and such as learning difficulties required specialist assessment, non-clinical psychology input for patients who have more complex needs. So when it reveals that 300 of the 1,300 prisoners in there are having the same mental health episodes and are not being dealt with in the right way, this shows that there is definitely an issue ongoing inside the prison and how they don't know how to deal with mental health outbursts. But if they did, this would be safer for the prison guards and also be a better time in there for the prisoners. In relation to the education services, they completely failed. They said it was poor, and this was a report by the Ofsted. One of the key concerns in the report was the level of violence. They said they've remained very high, and they also gave the number of incidents that had occurred over the past 12 months, and these numbers are in relation to prison guards against prisoners. They covered this in the section called use of force. They said that use of force was used on 1,342 occasions in 12 months leading up to the inspection, and more frequently during the last inspection, although half of the incidents were minor, such as the application of guiding holds rather than the deployment of full control and restraint techniques. More than 82% were spontaneous and unplanned. They stated that there was too few incidents that were recorded on body camera, and they said the staff had more than ample time to turn them on, but chose not to, and this resulted in poor CCTV having to be used to try to determine what had occurred in certain incidents. They also stated the use of segregation was higher than in the last inspection, and this is really important because this is relevant to the story. 362 people were put into segregation in the last 6 months before the inspection, and the 6 months following that, 873 were put inside. This is almost double in relation to what was used before, and they stated that half of the people that was in segregation were waiting for an adjudication hearing and could have been held on the main wing with no need to relocate them to the segregation unit. They also stated what they've done to try to reduce the drugs, and you may remember I covered Forrest Bank several months ago on the channel. They spent over £100 million on airport security machines in order to try to reduce the drug intake, but prisoners said in a survey to the Justice of Inspectorate that they found it very easy to obtain drugs. One of the tactics the prison used was putting netting over the exercise yard where they believed that half of the drugs were being thrown in. So in this brief summary of the inspectorate report, it shows there was many failings and also a lot of inadequate treatment of prisoners that has resulted in deaths and also an increase in violence. So really appreciate you joining me for this story, and as I said, you'll be able to read the full report on the website now. And thank you to Sam Walker, and don't forget to follow him online and check out the previous coverage on the channel of his story. Scarcity will be reaching out to Forrest Bank Prison to try to provide a statement in relation to their views on the audio that has been heard today. And I'll definitely keep the followers updated on anything to do with that.